you get the rain earlier in the week that was forecast?
Yeah, yes, we did. Yeah, we did get some
here.
rain. So welcome to number 193 of these talks, if I counted right. And I keep looking back and saying, "Oh, here, COVID's here. It's boring. Let's do these for 2 or 3 weeks, and then COVID we'll move on." So that is a good example of don't listen to my predictions on anything whatsoever. So, but appreciate folks continuing to join. We generally get a dozen or so people on these. When I put them on Facebook, on YouTube after 40, 50 people. So not sure who all the others are, but again, appreciate your folks joining me for so many talks about so many pointless things. The people, like I talk at the LAPD and I go, how can you have so much crap? Well, yesterday I took the dogs out and I into the backyard and I saw a box sitting on the other side of the family room. And I said, what's in that box? I haven't looked for a while. And it's another maybe 30, 40 reels of film. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had those. So it's Carol keeps saying, I'm surprised you keep coming up with so much stuff, but then she knows better than I how many boxes keep coming in the front door. So it's
when you mentioned in your thing that it was your anniversary, what was the 5th anniversary, right?
Sixth.
Or sixth anniversary. Sixth anniversry. I thought we were all going to get T-shirts so we can wear them today, but I kept looking in the mail and it was never there.
I'm just disappointed nobody brought a cake. Let me just grab something real quick as an example of stuff, though. Watch out, puppy dog.
You just want to get the T-shirts.
We should have T-shirts made, huh?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
We were talking about getting up, in the hospital when you're not supposed to. And I have a good friend. He was an aerial skier, for world competition, so all the acrobat stuff, on land. And he had a part-time job working at a restaurant, and there's a stream that ran by, and somebody dared him to jump into the stream, and he took the dare, and it broke his neck, and
oh my God,
put him in the hospital. And so they eventually moved him to hospice care, right? So a facility for him to get better. But he was wearing one of those rod halos, they call them, and got help to go to the restroom, but then they just left him there. And so he finally tried to get back to the bed on his own, and he fell, and it drove one of the rods through his brain, and it killed him.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was super sad. And he was such a great guy, just always had a good joke, for everybody. And he, we were at a house one time in the, party with friends, and their kid actually had a poster of him up on a wall, and he autographed it for him and stuff. And I mean, it was just fun and a great guy. And it was so sad. I didn't want to tell you guys this when Don was on the air, since he's in the hospital right now. But boy, talk about cautionary tale. Is like,
wow, absolutely. I just ran out and grabbed this box as an example of stuff, and let's see. This is just a small little box here, right? And this came in the other day. Let me put it down. It's quite heavy. The fellow that was the head of the 1904 World's Fair Association died, and his stuff went up for auction. So that's a box of 2,400 slides from the 1904 World's Fair. So, and someday coming up, I'm sure we will have a talk about the 1904 World's Fair.
Bill, somebody named Ron Roxburgh is trying to get in. Do you know that name?
I recognize it. Yep, let him in. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, now it went away.
I just did it. They're there.
Where was that fair in 04? Where was it at?
The 1904 was St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis.
The invention of the Ferris wheel, and I think soft serve ice cream and some other odds and ends. So
what was the ice? Was it the ice cream cone, the waffle formed into a cone?
Yeah. So I haven't even opened it yet. I'm looking forward to it, but
what kind of slides are they? Those stereo slides?
There's a whole combination of things. There's the guy did a number of books, and a lot of it I understand is pictures of medals, medallions, souvenirs, that sort of thing from the collection. There's also things where they've done what you call it. Some of it is the stereo slides. Some of it are 35 millimeter copies of one of the lenses of the stereo slides, that sort of thing. So it's been sitting there in the front hallway for the last 2 weeks and stepping around it. So I'll get to it.
It's gonna land you in the hospital someday. You're gonna get us there and fall right over it.
Yeah, that's it. Other people can trip on their back patio. I'll trip over my World's Fair collection. So crazy. Well, at least if I'm doing that, I won't be doing other stuff. I was so busy with the LAPD stuff the last couple of weeks, and then Boy Scouts. Speaking of LAPD stuff, the house behind me got broken into on Tuesday of this week. So I strongly suggest to anybody, if you don't have an alarm, get one. If you do have an alarm, don't use one that uses Wi-Fi, because they use a Wi-Fi jammer. This lady sees a car pull up on outside the house, and all the cameras go dark, and they just destroyed her house. They were in there for 2+ hours, did quite
Oh my God.
So get an alarm, have it hardwired, have your cameras hardwired. It costs more, but also raise your walls up to 8 feet, because they go over a 6-foot wall like a gazelle. I mean, it's just astonishing. So I have to do a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm doing a whole neighborhood watch on this stuff, but just telling everybody it's really, you're going to live in a so-called nice neighborhood, and what's really scary is I've been in the backyard reading a book, sitting out there just enjoying myself. I went in the house. 15 minutes later, they broke out her back glass door. If I had been sitting out there, I would have heard it. So it's just scary.
This
Anyway,
happened in broad daylight? It does happen in daylight?
Yep. 3:49 p.m.
Yeah,
And
this is San Fernando Valley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been on the news about the fact that whole area is being hit by these guys, wherever they are.
Yeah, well, on the 20th, a friend of mine, an ex-Disney guy, was sitting at his house. Doorbell rang. He didn't answer it, figuring somebody's going to sell stuff. They actually kicked in his door as he was sitting there in his couch. So when he got up, he screamed. They ran out. They jumped out and everything. But they have perfectly clear video of them coming to the house. Their recording system is saying, "You are being recorded." They didn't care. They literally kicked in his front door. So. Yeah, so
What are they looking for beside cash and jewelry?
they'll cash jewelry, guns.
Guns, okay.
Yeah, but they'll steal all your jewelry, whether it's costume jewelry or not. They'll figure all that out later on. And another big thing is designer purses. The woman behind me had an AirTag in one of her purses, and it showed up in downtown LA 2.5 hours later, before the signal went dead, because they apparently found it. So, like I said, anyway, I feel like Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers, if anybody remembers those from newspapers.
Yeah, you got to be careful too, Bill.
Yeah.
You know?
2 weeks ago when we were doing our Zoom, Carrie took the dogs out for a walk and left the front door open. And I was just sitting in the living room doing, this Zoom with you guys, and a guy just walked in our house. And
Wow.
and then I don't think he expected to see anybody, and so he saw me and he just said, "Oh, I was wondering if you had a soda." And I said, "Nope, we don't have soda in the house." And he says, "Well, could I have a glass of water then?" I went, "Yeah, you're gonna need to wait outside. I'll get you a glass of water." But that was all. Well, we were doing the Zoom.
Oh wow!
Wow.
I would be introducing the guy to my friend Mr. Glock at that point. So
Yeah, you could see he had those prison tats, the do-it-yourself tattoos all over his hands and stuff, arm.
oh
So
goodness.
yeah, he was definitely a shady character, but
Well, let's go to some happier place. Let's go to Disney.
hey, turned out happy. He got his water and he left.
The first batch of films are from Disneyland, and they're all Super 8 films. And I was really excited to get them until I saw the guy that did it didn't understand what the thing like the f-stop and a shutter was. So some of it's real dark, some of it's real light, and in some cases, oh, look at that over there. So we're not going to be seeing the world's greatest films to start, but it's something to start with. So let me pull up here. They go variously between 1976 and 78. So we're going to see on those some of the American Parade. We're going to see some of the Mickey Mouse 50th birthday parade, and just some random things around the park. After a bunch of the ones that are really not so great, there's a much nicer one from 1965. So let me grab here. Well, let's see, optimize for video.
Bill, have you done any restorations on these?
Yeah, the ones that are here right now have gone through the first phase of restoration. So I physically cleaned them by hand, then I scanned them, and then I put them through this program that basically tries to adjust the colors and stabilize them so that you don't get the camera shake. And then the next phase is editing, cutting out the bad spot. And that's one of the things during these, I'm going to be asking, if you were going to be watching this again, would you like to see this historically interesting but flawed footage left in, or would you like to see it taken out? So we're going to have an interactive audience participation. So let me start here, share. So let's see. Okay. I have to change this screen here 1 second so I could actually see the control panels on it. 1 second. You're probably all looking at a very shadowy face staring at you. So, okay, so we hop to the park, and like I said, this was super overexposed. When I put it into the editing program, I'll do what I can to do more adjustment on the colors and on the brightness of it. But we get to see the old style pigs, which I think are a lot nicer than the current pigs that the park has.
But they are better than the first pigs.
Oh, that's for sure. I think one of the first characters I did was one of the pigs. Actually, I think the first one was a dwarf. Then I did a chipmunk. Then I did a pig. And the pigs are definitely a chore to do. The heads are so big and so heavy, and you don't have the use of your own arms. So it's a
What do those costumes weigh?
about 50 pounds.
50 pounds?
Yeah. The fiberglass head, the back brace that goes on it, the boots that you're wearing. So we have the motorboat cruise, which
You can carry 50 pounds around all day in the heat.
well, you don't do it for 8 hours straight. You do like 15 minutes on, 30 minutes off.
Wow.
So then that was their visit to Disneyland. Then they hopped down to the Queen Mary.
Queen Mary.
I'm not sure what year the Queen Mary exhibit opened in Long Beach.
All those buildings are gone now.
Yeah. Carol and I went, there's the propeller, had been over at the Disneyland Hotel, and then they moved it here. Carol and I went down just when they opened those buildings. They were having a big thing for travel agents, and my dad and mom were travel agents, and they weren't able to go. But since the invitation said Bill Cotter, Carol and I went down, and oh yeah, come on in and we'll have a great time. Everybody else is paying. Would you like an hors d'oeuvre? So it was kind of neat to see that whole little British village they had.
They still the Spruce Goose there?
No, that's
no, that's been gone for years. The dome is still there, but the Goose is up in Eureka, Oregon, or actually it's in McMinnville.
The dome is a cruise ship terminal.
Yeah, they used it a lot. It used to be used a lot for filming. It was a great thing for doing movies in.
I think they're building an amphitheater, an outdoor amphitheater where that village was right now.
Oh, is that what they're building?
That's what I understand, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you might see some familiar stuff being a Long Beach person. My brother had an office just down the street on the causeway that went out there, and went and visited him over there. So that's that one film. Let me get the next one. So, okay. We get a little bit of the characters and then they have a parade. The wonderful thing about Tigers are wonderful things. I'd like to know how many millions of miles Casey Jr. has gone since that thing opened.
I hate to say it, but I have a blank screen.
Yeah, I
You
do
look
too.
like-
There's nothing on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
same here.
it's
Yeah, just
great.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. I wonder why.
I don't have any pictures either.
Okay, well, let me figure this out. Let's see. Let me stop here. People should have said something. I'm sitting here talking to myself. Which happens a lot, you know. I mean, okay, do you see anything now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I know what the
thank-
problem is. Hang on one second. There's opening up multiple windows of the video player, so I see what it is. Sometimes what I do is I'll set it that it can open multiple versions of itself, so I can do an A/B comparison to see whether or not it changes working or not. And let me go and get it ready. More proof, it's a good thing I don't try to do this for a living, so. Okay, size this, here we go. Okay, bring it back to the beginning. And share screen. Come on, oh, here we are.
Bill,
Yes.
Queen Mary opened in 1971.
Yeah, I don't know if the village opened later though, because I moved here in '76 and
Oh yeah, the village was put up after the boat first opened, but you were saying you couldn't remember what time when it opened.
sorry, I couldn't, I meant when the village opened, because I said
sorry.
we went to the grand opening of it. Okay, can you see it now?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, much better. Thanks for letting us know, Cody.
You're welcome.
I'd be sitting here for 2 hours having people going, what the hell is he babbling about now?
Comes with old age.
Okay, everybody say goodbye to Irv. We're gonna miss him. So now I know why nobody's singing the Tigger song with me.
Yeah, when you said something about how many miles has the Casey
Yeah.
Jones Railroad run, I thought that's kind of an odd thing to say out of nowhere.
Now the computer does a pretty good job. These were so dark that when I looked at it, I was scanning it, just saw nothing but black. You know, and this is the sort of stuff I'll probably just take out because it's obviously not great footage.
Bill, what was the original film?
This is either 76 to 78. For whatever reason, this batch of films didn't have a date code on them, but you can tell the years from some of the other things that were happening. For example,
You can successfully restore something that looks like that?
what's that?
You can restore something that's that bad?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Empty people mover. That's interesting.
Yeah, so what's all
Yeah.
that about? Yeah.
And people again can tell you, oh, that's of this date because it has the guardrails, the lower guardrails on it that kept people from falling out. So again, I'll have to try to figure out some of the dates on these. Oh, riding the monorail. One of the films you'll be seeing later today has some really great footage of the mermaids. And here we're in the People Mover. And we can tell this one is 76 because we got American Parade.
Is Disney doing anything this year for the whatever it's called?
Not that I've heard of.
Has anybody gotten any of the commemorative dimes or quarters in their change?
For the bicentennial, or for the quadricentennial,
Whatever it's called. Yeah, the dimes are really pretty.
I haven't noticed them. Who uses cash?
Well, I
I
know.
have to say, I buy so much stuff so little stuff with cash anymore. I don't get any change.
Same with me, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm a coin collector, but I haven't had coins in my pocket for years.
Yeah, no, I mean, I take any change I get and I throw it into a big bucket.
Yeah,
And then,
same here.
over time, it's amazing how much stuff builds up in that bucket. All right, so we'll go to the next one. Again, Disneyland.
I don't think they're
But
doing
Jake,
as much this year for the 250 anniversary as they did for the 200, because for one, I've noticed there's a lot less stamps being issued around the celebration. There's some, but it's like going to be somewhere between 25 and 35% of what they did back in 1976.
Right.
And like Disneyland's not having a parade. There's other places, other things that they did that there's just not that much of that's going on.
No. Okay. Hey, kid, you know how lucky you are. Say hi to Alice.
Of course, what we really missed out on for the bicentennial was the Philadelphia World's Fair that was
Yeah.
authorized and just never happened.
Didn't quite
Yeah.
work out. I
Hey,
went to
Mike,
Operation Sale in
You
New
mean in
York.
1976 or 1876?
1976, yeah, they had the centennial
Yeah.
in 1776, and the bicentennial was all planned. I mean, pretty far along, and they just went nowhere.
Here's the Mickey Mouse birthday parade. Yeah, my dad's office overlooked the harbor in New York, so we went to the Operation Sail. Could just go to his office, look at all the ships, and then go downstairs, get in the subway, and go home. It was great. I remember this parade so well. Goodness gracious! You look at some of these things, and bam, you're back in time again. Somebody said they couldn't be here in the talk today because they're going to Disneyland and they're saying hi to the boss for me. So, hi, Mickey. Carol and I were down there. I think maybe it was our last trip or the one before that, and we were waiting. The Runaway Railroad ride was down, so we said, "Oh, we'll kill time." We went into the Mickey's house, and when we came out, there was somebody. Oh, now we go off to Marineland. When you get in the room, we get to meet Mickey. Somebody was getting Mickey's autograph, and I said something like, "Oh, I remember. I'd like to get Mickey's autograph when it's on my check." And the woman said, "Oh, did you work for Disney?" And we said, "Oh, yeah, we both did." So when they had ushered the other people out of the room, and we were there quite a while until a lead finally came in to find out why people weren't coming out of that room anymore. But yeah, I said, "Yeah, I was a friend of Mickey." Oh, then they knew you were a character. So it was fun talking to the current cast member and comparing notes and finding out how many things had just not changed over X number of years. And these are all the little short 3-inch reels, so they run about 4 minutes. We have a longer one coming up. Back to America on Parade. That was the parade that was running when I first interviewed down at Disney World, and then was still running when they moved me out here. And I have a real fondness for it because it was the first time I felt as part of the Disney family, and just going backstage and watching these poor people when they got off this parade route, taking those giant heads off. I mean, it was a grueling thing for some of these people to do some of these things and be so lively for the whole parade route, particularly in Florida with the heat and humidity.
Bill, do those costumes have cooling, some sort of cooling units in them?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, they actually, when I was working at Florida, they were testing them. They had a gel pack costume that it would run cooling fluid through a suit. That added on about an extra 10 pounds to the suit, and with the battery pack that it took. And people said, I'd rather not carry it. They actually tried others. The one I remember was the Winnie the Pooh had the honey pot on his head, and they put a fan inside. And again, the battery packs it took to power those things, so nobody wanted the extra weight, because as I mentioned earlier, they're quite heavy as they are.
Yeah.
And you're wearing your street clothes under those costumes too?
Yeah, right. It's my suit and tie. No, when you go to the zoo, was where they outfit the characters. You put on a pair of shorts and a zoo crew T-shirt, a bandana
Yeah.
around your head, and then again, some of the costumes are lighter. The dwarfs and the pigs were heavier because there's so much fiberglass there. When you do chipmunk, which is the one I did most of the time, that's probably about 30 pounds of stuff, not 50. And then the ones that are real lucky are the Alices, the so-called face characters, because they actually get to talk to people and not have to wear all that stuff.
Some of the face characters obviously have wigs, but I wondered if Alice was a wig.
Yeah, they try to find people who talk with a British accent, and otherwise, I've heard some very some accents are so bad you would have thought it was Dick Van Dyke doing it.
I was wondering about Alice's hair. If
No,
that
they're it's real hair. They go with blondes. They had gone with wigs, but you have the problem. Kids will pull on it. So with Snow White and then Cinderella and all those are what you call it are wigs, because they have to be styled. I don't know where we ended up now. All of a sudden we're with a bunch of goats, and I guess it looks like a llama. But yeah, Alice is natural hair for some reason, and the others are wigs.
Yeah, a lady that I used to work with at Delta, prior to working for the airline, she was an Alice character, and yeah, she's a natural blonde. And back then, for her job at Disney, wore her hair long.
Happy Pig. Again, you can see how big these things are. You can see the little slot in his hat that he's looking out of.
Where do they look out? Through the mouth?
No, if you go, I can see about going back to that one for a second. Let me just move this here. I gotta shrink this down for a second so I can see the controls of it. If we go back here, let's see. Okay, 1 second. All right, see the black stripe across his hat?
Oh yeah.
That's the character. That's the performer's eyes. So again, these arms.
His eyes are all the way up in the hat.
Yep. So these arms here are fake, because nobody's arms go down that long. So they end up at about elbow height, and then there's a metal rod that comes up, and you hold on to the metal rod to move the arms around.
Oh God.
So the eyes are around like chest level, I guess.
Yes, that's right. This is where I mentioned there was a lawsuit. A woman sued that she was at the park, and the pig came and grabbed her by the buttocks and squeezed, and she was traumatized and needed $1 million or some huge amount of money. And Disney made a big point of going to court on it. And the lady gave the whole testimony under oath, and then they brought in somebody dressed in the pig costume, and she recoiled in terror. That's the pig. I can't stand to be in the same room with it. And they said, okay, so this is the exact pig, that grabbed you. Yes, that's it. Well, they had the person take off the costume and show that the hands are molded plastic, and you can't possibly grab anything. So the judge threw it out of court, and then the Disney lawyer said, we would like to get our fees reimbursed. And they did. That dropped down the number of frivolous lawsuits quite a bit, which is exactly why Disney went to court on it. But I shared an office with the paralegal that handled all those cases, and it was amazing some of the ones she brought in. But yep, so those eyes are down about chest level. Oh, mail call. Again, trying to date this. Carol's getting the mail. 1 second. Carol, right there. Yeah. Be right with you. Ah, another movie. Okay, girls. Anyway, this one, 1978, The Rescuers came out in 77, and then Orville, the Albatross, made his debut. Okay, we heard you. Thanks for the final statement. Again, you don't see some of these costumes in the park very much because today, if you put them on, most kids today would not know who Orville was. Some construction going on over to the left there. It looks like they were redoing the canal boats.
Was the pirate ship still the tuna sandwich restaurant at this point?
Yeah, it was just there in a shot. That came out in about 82, I think it was, somewhere in there when they did the new Tomorrowland.
So is the boat
No,
is
New
the boat still
Fantasyland.
there?
What's that?
Is the boat still there?
The boat?
ship?
Oh no, that
No,
was torn out. They wanted to move it.
Oh,
didn't they take that out with New Fantasyland?
Yeah, it's the new Fantasyland they took.
Oh, you said New Tomorrowland, and it
Oh,
threw
sorry.
me off.
No, New Fantasyland. Sorry.
so was it a chicken of the sea tuna restaurant right up to the end?
Yeah, it was the what you call it, tuna fish restaurant, Chicken of the Sea.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Okay.
they had hopes to move it, and it turned out it had so much dry rot that when they tried it, it just started crumbling. But they actually did make molds of it. Oh, hey, that's a different Alice than I saw before. Wait a second, something's wrong. So they do have one in Tokyo, Disney Seas, which is the same ship because they took the molds from Disneyland and rebuilt it over there.
Is it a restaurant there?
I don't know. I have not been to Disney Seas. That opened a little bit after my last trip to Japan. Brock, do you know you were over there?
Yeah, but I worked on Tokyo Disney Seas, but I was just on a couple of specific projects, and I remember that they were putting in, I didn't realize at the time because nobody said anything about it, that it was the original ship from, I mean, the molds of the original ship from Disneyland. But I'm trying to remember where it was they were putting the ship in, because it's in a different, it's not, I don't think it's used as the Captain Hook's ship. I
Right.
think it's something else, and it may be associated with the section that's over in New England.
Okay.
They might have used it to be like a replica of the Mayflower. I have no idea for sure. They
Right.
probably serve fish and chips. I don't think it's chicken of the sea.
Okay. Now this one will be a longer one. There's going to be some blank spots in the footage. Basically, the guy took all his little 3-inch reels and just put them together. So sometimes there is blank footage in there. What I got a kick out of is how wide the gate is on this particular film. So it's too bad that one black line is off to the left. Would be even better, but when you projected this, you never see anything off to the left where the sprocket holes are. So this is 1965. We're up on the deck of the Columbia. And off we go, setting sail, circumnavigating the globe. Funny, the things that catch your eyes, the Boy Scout uniforms from back then are different than the uniforms today. And just looking at it and remembering, I was in Boy Scouts back then, doing that sort of stuff. There's a guy trying to figure out his camera. The dry dock.
You talk about the area of the image that finally gets projected at home. In the early days of TV, the centering of the image on home sets was so variable that there was a standard safe area for titles and safe area for action that amounted to only about 80% of the width and height of the frame. And I remember watching old movies on TV when the titles came up, sometimes they were clipped off on the left or right.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if you don't frame things right, now like I said, we get some black footage in here between his little 3.5 foot reels. Why they would not cut some of this stuff out, but yeah, sometimes you see things that are, you know, the framing is way the hell off. There's a movie out. It's called in the United States. It's called Journey to the Far Side of the Sun, and in overseas it was called Doppelganger. And the whole plot of that movie is somebody that they discover there's another planet just like Earth, and they take a journey there, but everything is reversed. So if you're looking at lettering, it's all reversed. The guy doesn't realize it at first that he's not landing on Earth, that everything is backwards. Well, a friend of mine was working at a TV station in Tampa, and found out that one of their people thought, oh, somebody must have reversed the film, so he fixed it. So this whole plot of on the backwards Earth, and the guys look at the sign and goes, that's not right. And people were calling up and said, what the hell is this about? They actually reversed the film to quote correct it.
The great film.
Yeah, Jerry Anderson.
Thankfully now we have letterbox on like Turner and all that, so we don't have to worry about the the credits being clipped off.
Oh yeah, sometimes you try to see the credits on things, and
what I hate is when sometimes on usually not on Turner, they'll show it letterbox in the entirety of the film, but sometimes they'll use the letterbox format at the opening so the credits are shown properly. Then as soon as the first scene opens up, it's cropped.
Yeah.
I think, why did you show the whole thing letterbox?
I know there's a lot of people who think there's something wrong with their TV. When I see the credits, it makes me think of one of my favorite lines from the Muppet movie when the credits are going, and I think it's Fozzie says something like, what are we showing all these names? And they go, quiet, they all have families,
And that's like some of the episodes of Green Acres when
oh yes,
Lisa say the names, talk about the names, and everybody's like, what are you talking about? The names.
Carol and I love that. He goes, oh, look, there's names on the eggs. What are you talking about? I can't go all over yet. The names haven't finished. What are you talking about? The number of times they broke the so-called, fourth wall on that was just amazing.
Yeah. And as a kid, I didn't get it. I just thought it was a stupid show. Yeah. Now as an adult, I get it.
Now here we have a section for Cody here.
They're on the mule ride.
Yep.
God, I miss that.
Now I figure I will keep this footage in there, even though the light is bleeding in and stuff, because it's not something you can do today. But
no, you can't.
Will you be able to correct any of these scratches?
Some of it, but not all. The real bright flashes, no.
But the scratches, though. I mean,
the scratches, not as much. Somewhat, yes. I have to run it through one more program called Neat Video, which does a pretty good job on it. This film is has some areas that are very scratched, right across the center of it, and it can do real well with dirt, and it does real well with a scratch that might for some reason go left to right. But the ones that go vertical, it looks and says it's on the frame after frame after frame after frame. That must be part of what you're looking at. There is a piece of software for $10,000 that you can go and we'll take that out. If anybody would like to donate $10,000, I would be glad to take out the scratches.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear too many people volunteering.
We'll
Sorry.
suffer through the scratches.
Yeah, for $10,000, I'll live with the scratches.
Is that bridge still there?
Last I was there, yes.
Okay, can't remember.
And it rocks pretty good from side to side.
Yeah.
Somehow I'm not seeing the video. All I see is the thumbnails of all the members, but where's the video? I lost it.
Oh.
That I can't help
I'm
with.
seeing it.
Yeah.
Go up to the upper right. There should be a thing about view.
You. Right, speaker, gallery, dynamic gallery, multi-speaker, sort gallery, change show. I don't know.
You might try to exit out and come back in, and then I'll ask Carol to let you back in.
Okay, let me do that.
This is all 8mm. Super 8 has a much larger. Okay, there's our. Super 8 has a much larger image area, but again, there was so much footage here with just the little stuff off to the left. You think they could have changed the gate or something to make it useful. He doesn't look so sure of himself there. Ah, you're going the wrong way. There's always people that have to do it. Throw them out. The barrel bridge, you can get pretty wet if you get too many people on it.
This reminds me of when I worked at the museum and there was a long hallway to the West Wing. And to get there quickly, I always walked against traffic because they could see me coming and get out of the way.
Well, here they would have signs, exit only, go back, going the wrong way. Half people don't care. Hell, they drive that way on the freeways,
Yeah.
This waterfall, of course, is all gone. It got dry rot, and rather than repair it, it was cheaper to tear it down. The fort is no longer accessible. It got dry rot. It was cheaper to tear it down. Oh, starting to get a pattern here. You see all the scratches, in this particular section.
What happened to the Fess Parker and Buddy Epstein? It was a wax figures that were standing inside.
Yeah, I don't know where they went.
They are.
Yeah, I don't know where they went, and they were there in the regimental headquarters.
Yeah.
Then I don't know which pool we're going to be at for a few minutes. I don't know if we're at Disneyland or some other hotel in the area, if anybody recognizes anything. Meanwhile, while this is going, the Expo 70 film is just about finishing its initial scan or restoration pass. And then I just have to get it from the laptop over to this computer. But we'll be seeing Expo 70.
Tell Cody it's not Buddy Epstein, it's Buddy Epson.
Yeah, Carol just came by. So it's not Buddy Epstein, it's Buddy Epson.
Epstein.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you had the Epstein files on your mind, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say, he was the brother of
Subconsciously.
that famous Epstein.
You know, a friend of mine had a story about the Buddy Ebsen. Do you want to hear about the Buddy Ebsen files?
Sure.
Sure.
They were doing a recording for some cartoon feature that Buddy was doing a voice on, and he came to work and had a briefcase and carried the briefcase in, sat down, did the whole thing, and then was getting up to leave. The guy said, "You know, what did you bring? What's in the briefcase? What did you bring to the recording session?" And a buddy said, "Oh, you know, two things that you may need." He opened up. It was a can of hairspray and a sandwich. And he said, he says, you never know when somebody's going to take your picture, and you never know going to know when something runs late and you're going to want lunch.
I ran into Buddy Ebsen several times back, probably when he was doing Barnaby Jones. He was a coin collector. He had one of the most famous collections in the country. When they
Really?
auctioned it off, he auctioned it off before he died. I mean, obviously, but it fetched millions of dollars.
Never know that about people. You know, I just always think of him as Georgie Foster and Jed Clampett. Well, Jed had money, right? You know, he could afford it.
Yeah, no, Buddy started his collection back in the 30s, so he got some of this stuff at, you know, now we consider it to be bargain prices.
And these boxes out front here, they're going to let off a whole bunch of balloons. I don't know if the balloons show in this, but that's what they're there for. Wurlitzer is still there. You can go buy a piano or an organ.
What year is this?
65.
Oh, still 65. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the kid that was having trouble on the Barrel Bridge was shown in the swimming pool. I think he's Down syndrome.
Yeah, I don't know if the Barrel Bridge is taken out or not, but
No, but I'm saying that the kid that was having issues on
yeah.
that bridge showed up later in the swimming pool footage, and I think he has Down syndrome. I think that's probably
Oh,
why he was having
could
issues
be.
with the bridge.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Missed that.
Yeah, one of the trouble with the Barrel Bridge is people are heavier now than they were when they put these things in. So, you know, all of a sudden the same number of people, the bridge is going underwater. Okay. The guy that had his door kicked in the other day was a former Jungle Cruise skipper. And every time he and I get together for lunch, it's trying to remember this spiel. I don't think that scene's in there today. Pulling the piece of zebra flesh apart.
That's the best part.
Let's see, we're getting to see most of Disneyland today, and we don't have to park and pay $30 or whatever it is for parking, or take a tram ride or any of that stuff. It's just instant action, instant gratification.
I think it's $40 to park your car now.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Oh my,
it's
$40.
really
Wow.
outlandish.
wow. That's a lot.
Yeah,
You mean on top of the admission fee, that's $40 to park?
yeah, and then of course it's going to cost you over $100 to get in the place.
Yeah.
Plus the fast pass and everything else.
Yeah, well, there's this, I have a secret place to park, which is a little bit better, but I won't say it here because we'll go on YouTube and everybody will use it. But if anybody's going down, let me know. I'll tell you a slightly cheaper and easier place to park.
Is it on Disney property or
No,
no? Okay.
the trouble is,
Last
at
time
the
I
end of
went,
the
I
day,
parked-
you have to get your car back from the tow yard that takes it away. But you just park it out on the main, you know.
Bill gets a kickback from the tow company, right?
Well, if
You
you
know what I
park
could
off
do
the
is-
property, off the property can be a really long walk to the gate, can't it?
Yeah, it's well, there's a tram ride that takes you over. I could pop up the picture of my Camaro on Main Street. And now the most dangerous journey, the trip home.
Ugh.
What was your Camaro doing on Main Street?
Oh, you never saw that picture? At the end of
Yeah,
the,
you've shown it several times. I think he's seen it, didn't realize it.
yeah.
That's where he parked because his office was on the other side, right?
Well, I was, excuse me, on that particular day, my office was right behind the dinosaurs on Primeval World. And I had a meeting over at the maintenance facility. And if you had a car that did not drip oil during the days the park was closed, you were allowed to drive through the park. So I drove over for a meeting, and on the way back towards my office, I decided to just stop and take some pictures of things out there. What made that day funny was I was driving, I still had New York plates on the car from having moved here. And I was driving down the street, and there was a security post coming down the street. And I pulled up and said, "Hey, am I parking in the wrong place? Where's everybody else?" And he almost had a heart attack. Then he saw I had a name tag on. But you can just imagine the poor guy in his car with New York plates comes driving down Main Street. So I took a picture of my car parked in front of a couple places, Carefree Corner, Coke, the Sunshine Terrace, that sort of thing. And it shows up all the time. People steal it, post on Facebook, you know, as if they did it. And then some people, it's terrible. He's ruining the scale and the whole illusion. And Walt would have been upset. No, Walt let people do it. Then other people, you can obviously tell it's AI because the shadows are all wrong. I mean, it's amazing how many comments that picture gets every time it shows up someplace.
Maybe he thought it was Joey driving down Main Street.
Yeah,
Yeah, there would have been oil all over the place if it was my car.
no, you had two rules. Your car couldn't drip, and you couldn't drive over the drawbridge through the castle.
Well, they're taking your word for it. You say it doesn't drip.
I was gonna say, did someone like check your car to see if it dripped?
No, but if you got caught with it, you had to pay the cleanup fee.
Uh,
And my car was brand new, so it wasn't a particular problem. So,
Yeah.
But one day, I will admit, we did take a set of the cars off the track of the Autopia and went racing around the park and over the drawbridge, and it was great fun. Until one of my friends decided he was trying to make a turn, and those cars don't turn particularly well. He hit one of the trash cans, and it was like, oh crap! You know, let's hope nobody realized it was us, because he put a good sized dent in it. But the things you could do on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Does anybody know, do all the on-property Disney parking lots charge the same amount?
They
think
actually
so.
charge more than that if you want VIP parking.
Or if you have a
Yeah.
camper, it'll be more money.
Yeah, last time I went, it was pre-pandemic. I parked in a weird lot. I got directed into it. It was on Disney property, wasn't very big, and it was surrounded by these like 20 or 30-foot hedges all the way around.
Yeah,
and you walk from there. There was a path that took you right to, that main plaza area.
yeah, that's over by the Disney. There's a couple what they have overflow lots, and there's one over by the hotel, and there's another one you have to take a bus where basically the cast members park now. But they again will use that for busy days.
Oh, it was a busy day. Yeah.
The old style train cars, they changed them, of course, now because everybody wants to sit by the window facing the park. Here we go. We get the mermaids.
I don't know how those ladies did that costume with their legs bound together like that. That would drive me nuts.
I've actually got a Disneyland newsreel where they're at the Disneyland Hotel doing tryouts at the Disneyland Hotel swimming pool.
Yeah, I've never seen a mermaid's lower half bend quite as sharply as that. Usually a fish, is a more gentle bend. You looked at her, you could tell it was obviously her knees were there. And so when she flipped it up, there's this really sharp bend in her tail instead of a, more soft.
Let's not have anybody tell Brock they're not real.
What? I saw the casting call. It asked for mermaids to come try out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
wasn't it
there. More mermaids.
the
There we
same
go.
bunch of mermaids that performed? What was that movie with Daryl Hannah where she
Oh,
played?
Splash.
What was it?
Flash.
Flash.
That's right. Yeah.
Disney's
Same,
first
same
PG
family of
film.
mermaids.
Yeah. And she had to learn to swim in that costume.
Wasn't that the first movie that Tom Hanks did after doing the TV show, which, gave him a start in his fame?
I don't know. I just know it's the first PG film Disney did and launched Touchstone.
Yeah.
Great
Picture
film.
spot.
Yep. Must take a picture. The sign commands it. Now let's see what it's like if we go for a ride on the Matterhorn.
Good shot of the back of the head.
Now, should I leave footage like this in or not?
No.
No, I don't think so. It's not really showing you much, and it doesn't. I mean, if it had been taken from the very front seat, I think it could have been a really good shot, a good thing.
Only if you distribute the right thing to smoke with it.
But you don't really get the illusion that you're on the ride. It's just you're just kind of jumping and bumping around there.
I kind
Yeah.
of like it. I think it gives you a feeling of being on the ride, sitting behind someone, obviously, but
Yeah, I
yes and no.
include it, and then include scary screaming noises with it.
yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, we'll all volunteer to do the screams.
You do the Foley effects for the screaming, huh?
Yeah.
Nice mouse ears. And off we go. Enjoy the ride. Again, just like the the Casey Jr. train, how many revolutions has that carousel made? Wow. It's not one of the things you see goes down for maintenance a lot either.
House of the future.
Yep.
We've talked about this before, but that last scene there with the little kid waving is kind of sad because it's too bad that he doesn't have this film of himself, 60 some years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't want it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the trouble. Sometimes
I'm sorry.
people empty out a house and the stuff just goes in a giant out the door. garage sale or some. I did find one person's, I've mentioned this before, family films that every year they had Christmas time, coming down the stairs, getting into the tree. And the only things I wanted were the pictures of the 64, 65 World's Fair. I got in touch, and they had a very unusual name. They were from Lynbrook, New York, and found out the people had died, and they said they were survived by son so and such of Washington, D.C., and another one in Colorado or whatever. I got in touch with the guy in DC and said, "Hey, I've got your family films. I'd just, like to send them back to you." And he wrote back, "I don't have any interest in them, but maybe my brother does." And I wrote to the brother, and he said, "Yeah, if you want to send them to me." And I said, "Yeah, I'd just like to get the postage back." Mailed in the movies, never heard back. But I keep thinking, what sort of family life must this guy have had where you say, "Would you like these movies?" I mean, I had 10, 12 rolls of them. Nah, I don't want them. So some people's family life was probably not something they want to remember, sadly.
Yeah.
It possibly also didn't have a way to show him, if you were offering him the video version, or were you?
For me, I know I'd say, yeah, I'll take them, even if I don't know what to do with them. I could always figure something out later, but once they're gone,
Okay.
they're gone.
Yeah.
I have an old movie camera of my father's and some reels. I have no idea what's on any of it. Movie camera doesn't work anymore, so it's probably going to get dumped.
You mean projector or camera?
No, yeah, it's a projector. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I've still got a movie projector here, and I use it every once in a while. Friends have some 8mm movies. I was waiting for the bulb to burn out. Hasn't yet.
Yeah, luckily you can still get bulbs for most of them. Though a lot of the projectors, the rubber belts go on them. I had not used my 16mm projector in years. Turned it out and it ran about 1 frame per second. All the grease in it had congealed, and I luckily found a guy that still did maintenance work in Bell and Howell movie projectors. But if you want to send me your movies, Cody, I'll see what's on them for you.
Oh, well, okay. They're like, reels, big reels of movies of some kind. I can send them to you. I think one of them is my parents getting married, and whoever took the film, the pictures of them getting married, they did it upside down. So
I can see that.
all you can see is them doing whatever they're doing, and they're all upside down.
Luckily that's easier to fix. Now we're gonna have to turn to the expertise of Randy to help on this next one.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Bill, before you get it started, real
Yeah.
quick, from what I can tell, the old pirate ship molds were used for the addition to the park that just opened a couple of years ago, called Fantasy Springs. There's a pink pirate ship or some kind of ship in there. The back end definitely looks like the back end of that pirate ship. Other aspects of it look a little bit different, some of the sides, so they maybe they used parts of it and didn't use all of it. I don't know. I couldn't tell what it was used for. It was just in a picture showing it sitting in the water, and then when I looked at the map, it showed it on the map.
Oh, great.
Of it. So that's where it came from. I was mixing it up with the boat that was used in Mediterranean Harbor. There's an old, like a Mayflower style boat that was built for that, but that was built from scratch. I remember now. So
Brock, which park is this that you're talking
Tokyo
about?
Disney Sea,
Yeah.
which was originally, you did it was a circular park. You went around a center area and you could go out, and now they've got this little land that goes off one end of it, which is all the Disney fantasy films. They got, what is it? Frozen. They have, Peter Pan, Frozen, and I can't remember the third one.
Little Mermaid.
I think because there's Mermaid Lagoon, and they may have put it into there. Anyway, so that's where they probably used it, because that ship, definitely the back end was, the profile looked like that big high back end with the big rounded top, that was kind of gold gilded and everything.
Right.
But it was all pink, which was kind of weird.
Different.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
This is a souvenir.
I was going to add one quick thing too, Bill, and that is, if you need a new projector bulb, you can often find the equivalent in LED that, show it's brighter and much less heat. So sometimes if your film gets stuck and the bulb can melt your film, then with these new bulbs, that won't happen.
Yeah, that's a
Hopefully
good
much less
point.
expensive,
Yeah.
because I can't even imagine what replacing the bulb for my Kodak projector would cost. I remember back when the projector was new, I was working in the Kmart camera department at the time, and people would come in, I need a new bulb for this, Bell and Howell projector. It's like, you're kidding me. I didn't pay that much for the projector. It's like us buying ink now for our printers.
Yeah, I found that old bulb once on eBay, but it was about $50 for the bulb.
They go
Yeah,
for
this was in the late 60s, like into the early 70s. I worked at this Kmart camera department. Back then, they were like $25 to $30 for a bulb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, they last a long time. I
Yeah.
learned the importance of having a spare bulb around, though. Carol and I went up to Hearst Castle with two of my college buddies, and I had brought up slides. The idea was, Hearst Castle is closed at night. What are you going to do? So I brought up the slide projector, and I brought up the the screen and everything. When I was going to, go back to pictures from our college days. So I set up the screen, set up projector, turned on the bulb, and it blew out. I mean, turned on the projector, the bulb blew out. And I said, well, okay, we can hold them up to the light and look at them. So I still have a spare bulb in the slide projector, and I don't think I've turned the slide projector on in 20 years.
Yeah,
But-
my slide projector bulb, it's a good old carousel.
Yeah.
It still runs. And the bulb still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same here.
now this film here is a souvenir film from Expo 70. It was bright red, as most souvenir films are. When I scanned it, I turned down on the scanner. I can turn down the red level, and I can turn up the green and blue levels to try to bring something back. Then the software is going to bring something back, and it's literally just finished working as we've been doing this. So I'm going to be seeing the results for the first time with everybody else. So we'll see how well it did. The Tower of the Sun. And Randy, feel free to jump in anywhere. If you want me to pause for anything, just say so.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, the Tower of the Sun is still there, but without all the framework around it.
Yeah, it looks sort of lonely out there in the field by itself.
Yeah.
Well, I got a little color back. I'll see what I can do in the next phase.
Yeah, and I was going to say, it's still looking a lot of the red effect in the film.
One of the things this film did was got a lot of people reaction shots to things at the expo.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it's the back side of the tower. And this was called Expo Plaza, correct, Randy?
Right.
Yeah.
And that there was in the previous couple frames, there was a swirly thing that was the International Photo Exhibit. That's Japan Pavilion. Oh, that's right. They've got them titled. That thing was enormous.
Yeah, you can see that's USA inflated roof.
Also enormous. That's the lines for the USA.
Right.
Which, if it only went that far, was not much of a line, because it stretched way across the fairgrounds on most days.
And here it is, stone from the moon.
Stone from the moon.
No moon rock for them, right?
Right.
In the USSR.
And that thing was beyond enormous.
Cold War times, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. Loved the British Pavilion.
Yeah, so this did a job of bringing back some of the colors. Again, you can only do so much with some of these.
That was Italy. I don't think it said. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Italy.
Yeah. And we know where that is.
Yeah.
bringing back some memories for you?
Oh, yeah.
What was your favorite pavilion there?
There were so many really good ones. USSR was good. US was good. The architecture of this was good. That building was by I.M. Pei, who did the Kennedy Library and the newer wing of the National Gallery in DC. He has those extreme angular features are typical of his work. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries was really good. It was kind of the GM pavilion of Expo 70. Not as good, but it was kind of the same idea.
I get the impression that I've seen that title in font thousands of times.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could have gone to this one, but as a starving college student, it was out of the question.
Yeah, the architecture of the different pavilions, a lot of it's very impressive.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
You know,
Yeah, it was in my mind, I consider, during my lifetime anyway, Brussels, Montreal, and Osaka, because we had the Cold War going on, as Bill mentioned. So the US and USSR, tried to outdo each other. So that was always the high point of the fair, those two pavilions. And these African pavilions, it was kind of like Expo 70. They had a plaza that they were all centered around, except for Ivory Coast. It was off on its own, close to the British pavilion. And these
where was this expo again?
structures,
So
Where was
Osaka,
this expo?
Japan.
Osaka, yeah.
Osaka, yeah. These red buildings they called them Expo places. I think there was like A, B, C, D, and E, and they were all smaller countries that, like either rented space or given space in those buildings.
Oh, that's neat.
I like Brazil. Its architecture was really, really interesting.
Why was there? Were there any other United states besides the federal pavilion in Hawaii?
Washington State, Alaska, City of San Francisco.
The
Those are
ones
ones I can think
the
of.
ones would have big trade things.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I always like the look of that one for whatever reason. Oh, that's kind of neat too.
Yeah, of course, that's not the pavilion. Everybody thinks that's the pavilion. That was just a sculpture in front of the pavilion.
Right. It's just such a shame that these films didn't last, that the colors, go so badly. Like I said, when I first looked at this, the only color you could see was red.
I like the Netherlands a lot. Australia survived till a few years ago. It was moved to a different city in Japan. They tore it down probably about 5 years ago, maybe.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say, Bill, this was the Magenta Fair.
Yeah. This
Oh,
roller
that's neat.
coaster.
The roller
Yeah,
coaster was extremely boring. It did not go fast.
And supposedly they raced each other at the one point.
Yeah, but at pretty low speeds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rainbow Tower was actually the tobacco companies.
Was
That
there
was the
anything in
bank.
it? Was there anything in the Rainbow Tower?
It was kind of like rock sculptures with lights and then smoke.
Hmm.
Not cigarette smoke, but the
Right.
obvious connection.
Yeah, Bill, if you're able to restore more of the color, true colors in this, be neat to see it again.
Yeah, I'll keep working on it. Let
These
you
are
know.
not bad, really. I mean, to my
Well, the Rainbow Tower sure didn't look like a rainbow. I remember seeing still pictures of that one.
it was
And it
brighter.
was really beautiful.
Yeah, this is a sewing machine company. I didn't see that one. I didn't have a whole lot of interest in sewing machines when I was 18 years old.
Some of them, like Hitachi, was red, so that's the trouble you
Yeah.
take them out. Some of the pavilions will go away.
I liked Electrium, the electric utilities. This was a good pavilion. This is Mitsubishi.
Randy, did your work take you there, or were
No,
you?
it was a graduation, high school graduation gift for my parents.
Wow,
And it wasn't just because of Expo. I had always been interested in Japan. It just, coincided. So
that's really great.
I didn't go in this because it was all storybook characters. I just didn't have an interest. Wish I had gone.
That's a great gift, Randy.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated it. Still
My
do.
parents gave me a savings bond.
Yeah, mine gave me luggage. I think they were trying to send me a message.
Here's the luggage for the trip we couldn't afford for you.
Yeah.
Well, I was the oldest of 8, so yeah.
Yeah.
Luggage and a stroller. Take one of the other kids with you. Hint.
Quite a lively dance thing here at the end.
Yeah, kind of like closing ceremony. Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder when they shot something like this, because are you trying to sell it at Expo? Selling it afterwards or whatever. But there's quite this ceremony here whether I don't know, maybe it's part of opening day or whatever, but they got a lot of people out there.
Yeah, it was the opening and closing ceremonies looked a lot like each other when you see them in films. I don't think the royal family attended the closing. They may have, but I know they were at the opening.
Yeah, that would have been Hirohito, wouldn't it? Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at it thinking this kid is probably if they have Social Security in Japan, applying for it now. Cast of thousands. The end.
Wow, really well done.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, again, that was one of the things I found in the box last night, so I scanned it before I went to bed, and then just finished.
It said it was by Toho Films. Was Toho like one of the studios that did like Godzilla and all those?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
exactly it.
Yeah.
That would explain a lot of the shots, like with people like oohing and eyeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all looking up at Godzilla. He made a visit to the park,
There is one of those movies that where two of the monsters, I don't remember which ones they were, get into a fight on the expo grounds and they destroy it.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it might be Mothra and Ghidra or something like that.
It's one of those, but yeah, they actually, yeah, I watched it just for that. I found it on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Is it everybody here seeing the Bruce and Dave show at the NFFC where Bruce,
Oh yeah,
yeah, Dave in his office built, he was working on, Dave Mumford was working on Tokyo Seas and yeah, they had some transmission difficulties and stuff. And Dave looks out his window and there's Godzilla tearing down the power lines. It was so dang funny. It's the best one they ever did.
It's interesting.
know-
Toho goes back to the 40s.
It does. Wow.
And they were doing mainly there was a lot of romantic dramas. They were doing a lot of films, a lot of dramas, a lot of even comedies
I think in
back
the
then.
40s they might have been doing propaganda films.
Yeah, propaganda films. They went into
Yeah.
the 50s. So they go back quite a while. So does the Indian cinema goes back to the 30s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody know the Tokyo Disney Seas? Is it the same plan that was planned for Long Beach, or is it totally different?
No, it's totally different. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was no connection there.
So we're seeing again the lighting on this backlighting. It's oh, it's Mr. D, whatever he is. But Hanna-Barbera show they had at Marineland for a while. And then we go to Universal. This was so dark. It's astonishing. When I just looked at it on the scanner, I said, what the hell is going on? Oh, now I can see it's the Hulk. And he's chasing somebody through the audience. Hey, there you go. Don't mess with the Hulk. I still remember my mom came out here and they were filming an episode of The Incredible Hulk in Long Beach. And they were down there visiting the Queen Mary and they came across the thing. And I said, Lou Ferrigno was just the nicest guy and posted pictures with everybody. And she was, just thrilled to have met the Incredible Hulk. I don't think she ever watched the show, but the fact that, he was so nice, it really stuck with her. Funny, one night they were staying at the Sheraton Universal, and she was talking to some lady in the bar there, and just whatever. Oh, he grew up in New York. I grew up in New York, or whatever. And my mom said she talked to the lady for about an hour, and then the lady said, "Oh, here's my son," and it was Telly Savalas walked in because he didn't go to the hotel. So, and my mom was, "Oh my God, Telly is the nicest guy," So.
Did he have a lollipop in his mouth?
I don't think he did. She would have known that right off the bat, right? So let's see. We have another one here. Where are we going?
The last time I was at Universal, the studio tour, they were filming Thoroughly Modern Millie and Shooting McHale's Navy, the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you how
Wow.
long it was.
That's a long time ago.
I think it was 66. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's for Cody. This again.
This must be nuts.
Yep. The scanner has a setting on it from the gain from 0 to 12. These were all shot as gain 0. And even there you can see how overexposed some of these are. But the footage is kind of neat because this is their steeplechase ride back at the time they had this ride.
I do too, yeah. I do too.
So it's again one of those things, I hate to throw it away, but maybe just leave it in there because it costs nothing to leave it in there. But it was a really cool ride. I liked it. It reminded me of the steeplechase ride at Steeplechase in New York.
Is it no longer there?
No, it's been gone for forever.
Not thrilling enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that whole section of the park they redid with a different theme of car races and stuff, and I don't think that's there anymore.
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of stuff. There's the motorcycle. I don't think they have that.
No, that's been gone forever.
They moved it to Harry Potter Land.
Yeah, who knows what they did.
No, I mean, they have what's his name? Hagrid? Motorcycle ride now.
Oh
in
yeah,
Harry
right.
Yeah.
Hey, now there's two steering wheels. What if one goes left and one goes right?
What's the date on this film?
This one was, I think, 78.
Okay.
No idea where we are now. Probably still at Knott's. Yep, and more of the motorcycles.
So fast. Not like the motorcycle drivers I see on the street around us.
Yeah.
Zipping in between all the cars.
Bye-bye.
How is it in California? I mean, here in Utah, we've had more deaths by motorcycle than any year before.
Really?
Really,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that some of these guys you see going in, squeezing in between cars don't get killed.
Yeah. The
They-
lane splitting.
Yeah.
They do, and that's why I get called to go to direct traffic around their dead bodies. It's
Yeah, I was just eating at one of my favorite Chinese restaurants. It was about a month ago. And as I was leaving, I couldn't get out of the parking lot. Well, as it turned out, some guy had just basically killed himself on a motorcycle. So they had
Yeah.
like the whole block cordoned off. So I got
But yeah,
stuck there for like an hour before they even let anybody out of the lot.
there was one over in Corona near where our son lives that it was an intersection with a signal, and the motorcycle was coming down towards it. It had been a red light, but as he came down towards it, he split between two cars. It turned green, but you have these drivers here in California that, oh, that light turned yellow 15 seconds ago. I can still make it through, even though
Yeah.
they've lengthened the time. Well, this car he saw it turn green, so he accelerated. The car to his right blocked any view of any oncoming cars, and they hit the intersection at the same time, and the car just totally wiped him out. I mean, he was killed, and it blocked that intersection. It's not a major intersection other than it feeds direct onto the freeway. And so it really messed things up for people that way, but it was closed for like 2 or 3 hours while they investigated the whole thing. But we found this out afterwards. We didn't know how it had happened, but yeah, somebody running the red light.
Yeah.
And then he saw it turn green and, went by a van or something that blocked his view to see that, hey, there's somebody running a red light, and they found each other in the middle.
Yeah, we were out on patrol about 5 weeks ago, and we were just coming up to the end of our day, and a call came out for a collision. And I said, should we or should we not? And that's sort of on the way back to the station. Then it came out that it was a car versus motorcycle. And, oh, those are never good. And then the officer who's responding to it called and said, my siren's not working. I can't go through any red lights. Can somebody get there and take care of it? And I said, yeah, I'll grab it. And as I got there, the fire was out in the middle of the road doing CPR on the motorcyclist.
Mhm.
The light had changed, and he evidently wasn't paying attention. It was a big Ford pickup truck stopped for the light, and from the skid marks and everything, they figured he hit the truck at 72 miles an hour head first.
Mm.
And so that was fatal. And
Only
again,
takes a second.
it's a
Jeez.
40-mile-an-hour zone. Why the hell is he driving down the street at 72 miles? And that, again, he had already been braking, so at whatever speed he was, I mean, but we're out there doing radar about 2 years ago, and a guy comes down the street and sees us out there with a radar gun and goes across the street onto the sidewalk thinking that he could get away from us. Well, no, he didn't. But I mean, they're coming down the street 70, 80 miles an hour in 35, 40 zones. People are just stupid.
Does anybody who lived in Southern California for a while remember this is quite a while ago, freeway chase. It got down to Orange County, I believe. The guy was on a motorcycle that they were chasing. He went on an off ramp and like 70 miles an hour went into the side of a bus.
Yeah.
And he lived.
Yep.
You remember? I mean, I look at that. He cannot have lived.
No, no.
Yeah, but he did live.
Yeah. There was a couple of times where these people hit it and you go, oh my God, that's fatal. Well, I was driving on the highway one day and a guy was right behind a bus, the shuttle buses to go to the airport. And he was right behind this guy, slipstreaming it so he could go faster. And the bus had to stop for something. And the guy hit the bus and went flying. And I'm watching as he's bouncing down the road. And it was like, holy crap. And there was no cell phone service, but that was back when they still had the phones on the side of the highway. So I ran, I talked over, got in the thing, and I'm calling, and they said, you know, is he dead? I go, I think so. Oh my God, he just stood up. I could not believe this guy. I watched him do 5 or 6 somersaults, bouncing down the road, and then he stood up. And then he probably fell down again. But I mean, it's
I was gonna say, yeah, it happened so fast he didn't know he was dead, so he stood up, and then he realized he was dead and fell down.
Yeah, no, I watched the guy motorcycle hit the back of this car, and he went flying literally over the stoplight, you know, the red light, and landed on the other side of the intersection. And he got up and he was fine. It's just like, you know.
well, sometimes it goes the other way. We were home watching TV. My friend Terry always this Chase Channel 5, and we're watching this guy go at high rates of speed, and he gets to an intersection, and there's this older couple, older our age, driving out. He hits them. And he goes airborne, and he goes so high in the air, he hits the sign up over the street lights. Have the sign that say, you know, El Segundo Way or whatever. He hit it, took the sign off the pole, and came crashing down. And 15 minutes later, I got the call. Can you come out, you know, block traffic for the fatality? I mean, watch the video of this guy. He just went flying, hits the sign, and goes straight down. You know, and they usually try to cut away from those on the news, but this happened so fast. It was like, holy crap.
My dad was a Ford service manager, and he talked about the wrecks that came in with bloody windshields because it was before seatbelts. And when I got my first new car, a '66 Mustang, he made sure that I had seatbelts installed.
Yeah.
What color was it?
Red, of course.
Of course.
That was my, I wrote about, you know, my best friend got one from the World's Fair. It was red, hard top.
So Wayne, was that your first midlife crisis car?
At age 22.
When I was going to San Jose State, I was going home from classes, and traffic was horrible. This is, you know, up on, I think it was the 280 up in San Jose. And I could see ahead of me at this off ramp, there's emergency vehicles and all this. And there's this guy with a girl behind him on a motorcycle, weaving in and out of traffic. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, what a jerk. Well, I saw something happen. I mean, I didn't see it clearly enough to realize what had happened. But when I got home on the news that night, what he had done was the whole traffic jam was caused by a big truck had turned over on its side, and they were trying to pull it back over. And they had run cables across the off ramp and blocked it off. They thought enough to keep anybody from trying to go on that off ramp. Well, he decides he can go around the cones, and he caught his head on the cable, decapitated himself.
Did he behead himself?
Yes.
That's what
I couldn't see it from where I was. Found this out on the news, you know, a couple hours later. And the woman was partially decapitated.
Oh my
The
God.
motorcycle kept going for like another 100 feet.
Wow.
Finally flipped over. So
in Minnesota, our next door neighbor did that on a snowmobile. He, you know, was flying along the lake, and there was a barbed wire fence, and he decapitated himself on that. It was like,
we had a a collision where somebody got killed, and we had to block off the whole road. You got to wait for the coroner, and it takes hours. And there's a bike trail that went right there, and we put up yellow tape, the police tape, do not go and everything. And this guy came down the road, on the bike trail, head down, pedaling like a son of a bitch, and we're yelling, "Stop! Stop! Stop!" Thinking when he hits the tape it's going to break. Well, it didn't break. I was just talking to an officer about this the other day. It turned into about the diameter of my fingers here, with the consistency of a steel bar, and he hit it and down he went and knocked himself out, but good. So I had to get on the radio and call for an ambulance, and they said there's already one there for the victim. I said, no, I got another one. But I mean, yeah, he was out of it, and when he woke up, he had no idea where thank God he did wake up. He had no idea where he was. He couldn't remember his name. I mean, it was just,
oh my God.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, you're right. That tape doesn't just tear, it goes down to that little strand.
Yeah.
It's impossible at that point to do anything with it.
You can't do it. Let me just take some pictures here real quick. I'll go to a happier day. We're going to go to October 26, 1976. And it's a quiet day here at the Magic Kingdom. Matter of fact, it's very quiet. There's nobody at the Magic Kingdom but Bill. So this is the way. If I win the lottery, this is the way I'm going to go back someday, right? Just rent out the whole damn park. But I was, like I said, on my way back to the office, and just stopped to take a few pictures. And nobody was at City Hall, so I couldn't look for any lost kids. Carousel, everything's quiet. The cover over the popcorn wagon. It's a beautiful day. But wait, how the hell that car get there?
There it is.
There's the famous car.
Yeah, I post this
with the New York plate.
Well, yeah, with the New York plate, right? So people say, "Oh, it's what you call it? It's all fake. The shadows are all wrong." You go, that's my damn, another sign.
Did
Bill,
did
that's
New
my
York
first
have
photo.
mandatory front plates at that time?
What's that?
Did New York have mandatory front license plates at that time?
Well, we had what you call it, mandatory front back plates. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So many states don't require the front plate, or not. I know so many, several don't.
But
Utah
here,
just changed to that. Yep.
you want
They
to see
now
it?
required, or they do not.
They just made it so they're not required.
Oh, I wish they would do that in California.
Now, if you want to talk about New York State license plates on a Camaro, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, there. Now that was I was out at a night of drinking with a friend, and he said, "Hey, there's an unmarked police car here." And I said, "Oh, okay." He says, I got a screwdriver." I said, "Okay," and I still have that license plate.
Oh my God.
Oh.
You were lucky they didn't catch you.
I promise. I promise.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will work. If it doesn't, I'll take pictures and we can share it next week. But you were talking about the characters at Disneyland.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold this up and see if I can get it in. Oh, I'm getting reflection there.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to see it in detail. That's the group there. And then below is when we took off the things. I'm there on the left. I was Brer Bear. And I don't know if you can see it very well in the picture, but just below his chin line on the neck, there's a lighter area, and that's where you look through on that character. And I think I've told the story before where I was there and there was a little girl that came up to me and wanted to hug me, and I was talking, I put my head down because she was asking me questions, and you can't talk, but you can shake your head and try to, and so I went to shake my head, yes to her, and her mother was standing there, and I forgot I had this beak out here, and I go bonk right on her head, and I went like so sorry, but not with words. You try to do it with pantomime as best you can, and she laughed at it and everything. But it was just like, yeah, you don't, some of those heads, especially if it sticks out, and like I think the one you were talking about from was it Rescuers?
Orville. Yeah.
Yeah, Orville was a similar thing that you actually looked out to the neck. The head didn't have a human head in it, and you had to be careful because that one's kind of pointed. Well, luckily mine was a rounded big nose, nose and jowls kind of thing. But it was, yeah, it was kind of fun. You could, I don't know if you could see it in there, but the bandanas they had I think in the early days, they used to tie bandanas, but they made a special hat that worked like a bandana to take the sweat from going into your eyes was the main reason they did it. And for
Yeah,
some of
we
the characters, I think it also cushioned how the head stood on, held on your head.
well, Carol's got a picture of herself, I think, doing Miss Bianca. It's up in our library, up on the wall up there.
Yeah.
It's basically, for the folks that don't know, you went to what they call Disney University, and they would
Yeah.
put you through a whole training thing on Disney traditions and history and that sort of thing. And you had to be of a certain level because every employee that comes in would go through like Disney Way 1. But then if you were like when Carol got promoted into management, oh, you're now at Disney Way 2, and they take you down to the park and put you out there for a few minutes to do it. So yeah,
Right.
I did it in Florida, and the picture never got to me. It was frustrating, but
Well, that's too bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Were
This
you
one, I
were
don't know,
you
again, if
hot
you can
in that
see it.
costume?
There's the symbol that came with it. It came in a whole thing, and over here says Disney University on it with Mickey Mouse and the whole thing. So
right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Brock, were you hot in that costume?
I was lucky. It was a fall day, and it was late in the afternoon, so I was actually pretty lucky. I mean, it got warm by the end, but not if it had been midday summertime, I don't think I would have liked having that costume on. It was fairly comfortable.
Even in the winter, those things. So I can remember we would close the park for the employees, and management would run Disneyland or Disney World for the employees at night. And I can
Right.
remember taking the costume off, and steam would be pouring out. And I was wearing glasses, and at times I was get so blind I couldn't even see what was going on because of the steam. But I remember being there the night John Lennon got killed, and being hotter than hell in that suit. And it was a very weird night because the whole park got covered in fog that night. And it was like between the fog and the costume, the fog outside, man, I was glad to get that head off.
I'm sure. Yeah, it does get warm, but like I said, it wasn't as bad as it could have been in the summertime. And I think they only had us out there for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we were back off stage.
The hottest
So
one I ever did was the Main Street Electrical Parade at Disney World, where I did a trout playing a trumpet. And I was trying to tell myself by the end of the parade, you must not faint, you must not faint. I mean, it was brutal. So, but if anybody's ever done it, it's great. The kids just love it. They have a good time. And I think I mentioned I got in trouble for riding through Pirates of the Caribbean dressed as a chipmunk. And there was a little kid that didn't want to go into the ride because he didn't want to say goodbye. So I went in with him. The next day, my boss gave me hell. What if the boat had sunk? And I said, it's only, a foot deep. I wouldn't drown. He goes, I'm not talking about you, what it could have done to the costume. So,
Oh, boy.
yeah. Well, I think we'll quit for the day, and 193 under the belt. Wow, where does time go when you're having fun? So,
Gonna have a 200th anniversary.
Yep. Congratulations to everybody, especially Bill.
Yeah. Thanks for
well,
all
again,
the
I appreciate.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. I think I've seen, close to all of them. Not all of them, but mostly.
Well, I know people have some other things to do. Beth joined us. She was already doing a shift in the museum today, so she was able to join us and appreciate it. And Beth did a number of shows for us, so takes some of them are off the 193. Michelle took us on a tour. So again, everybody that's helped us out, Joey with his collection of stuff. It's really kind of neat because I've met some people on this in person afterwards, so Joey and I had met on this, and the first time we met in person was because of this, and the same sort of, stuff like Brock and I never worked together. We were at Disney at the same time, but always working on different projects and things. And since then we've met at number of lunches, gone out to lunch, and that was a really great restaurant down near your house.
Well, yeah, and if you remember where you and I met, and I found out about this program that you were doing on Saturdays was during COVID. you had already been going for at least a year, somewhere between a year and a half and 2 years, I think, at that time. But might have been even less, I'm not sure. But we had a virtual luncheon. Remember the Disney luncheons? And I
Yeah.
got put in with the group where you were there, and Debbie was in that group too. And so she mentioned that you had this Zoom meeting, and I went, oh, I'd like to find out about it. And she sent me the information, and I sent the request to you. Can I join you guys? And you said sure, and that was it. But otherwise, like Bill said, we worked together at the same time, but we didn't know each other. I mean, working for Disney can be like being in the Army. It's a large corporation, so it's like, oh, your son was in the Army, so was mine. I wonder if they knew each other.
Well,
I don't know.
It's funny, I was in Japan and I was going across the street and somebody came over and asked me something. And I said, what makes you think I know English? And I said, well, you're white. I said, so for people from Germany or whatever, but yeah, I speak English. What do you need? How do I get to so and such? Told him to get there. And he goes, where are you from in America? And I said, Los Angeles. He goes, oh, do you know Brock? or whatever name he asked. Was like, so does anybody watch the show Only Murders in the Building?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished watching like the last episode, and there's a great line in there where there's some crooked cops, and they show a picture of the cop to the NYPD detective, and said, "Do you know this guy?" She goes, "Oh yeah, that's Richie." And then she starts cursing, and he says, "What the f do you think? I know every cop. There's 16,000 of us or something." So I have it all the time. People pull up, "Oh, do you know my buddy?"
That's
No,
like flight attendants. It's like, I have a niece that works for United. Do you know her? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
because you work
Susie.
for an airline.
Yeah, Susie the slut. Yeah, I know her.
What's really bad though is somebody will come up to me and say, I have a friend, my Freddie Bob works at Devonshire. Do you know him? And I go, I don't know. And they said, oh, you must know him, Bob Delgado. Oh, Delgado, I know, because we all wear name tags that have your last name.
Yeah.
I would know people for 6 years and I have no idea what their first name is. Because even when you go out on something that everybody's calling you by your last name, Cotter, go do this, Perez, go do that. And somebody says, where's Terry? And there's a great reason for it. One time on bike patrol, this is no joke. We were going out, and I'm trying to remember all the names. We had, oh God, a Phil and a Bill. There was a Don and a Ron. I mean, there were like 8 of us, and 6 of the names were all similar. And then we realized we had 2 Johns. So it's like, okay, if you tell somebody go over there, was that John or Don? No. Was it Phil or Bill? No. And so that's why Cotter, go over there. And then what happens every now and then, you have somebody Gomez 1. It's just crazy.
Bill,
Hey,
I may have asked. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I may have asked this before. You may have discussed it. Have you ever gotten any or restored any of the Super 8 sound movies?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, right here on my
He's showing
desk.
some. Yeah.
Yeah. I just finished scanning Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby, and it's a sound film. And what I have to do is my projector, the scanner only does silent, but I take this on my 8mm projector, and then I take the sound and put that on a digital file and put the 2 of them together. So I've done a whole bunch of the ones from the Disney travel logs, for today at the Magic Kingdom, what that sort of stuff.
How about any of the amateur films that were done? I know that technology didn't last very long, but
I have one of those I have to do, and I have to find my own. I went on a game show, and the thing I won was a sound movie camera and projector. And I did take some of my own home movies, and I don't know where they are. I've got to find them somewhere in this house. But yeah, that was expensive to do. But
Hey, Randy. Randy?
Yeah.
Joey and I were in a bar one night, and I think we ran into Susie the slut.
She frequents every bar at every hotel in the country,
Yeah.
Was there also a rabbi and a priest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've flown with her a few times out of Denver.
Yeah. No, Irv, Carol asked one time, where did you find about us?
Good question. I don't know. I do a lot of digging in these World Fair sites. Your name came up somehow.
Oh, okay. Well, again, we knew
I've
Cody.
been coming here for a couple of years already.
Yeah, you spoke to my history group. I had you do Zorro.
Right.
Bill.
And then We did, I think, 2 of them for you.
You did some other ones. You did some on the World's Fair,
Right.
64 World's Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, great. Well, again, it's great. I appreciate meeting someone in person. You know, Carolyn came to us through Ken, and then we've gone out to Pinocchio's. If you come up this way, if you're visiting town, I will almost always suggest we meet in Burbank at Pinocchio's. It's a Italian deli.
There's a
Sounds good.
restaurant called Pinocchio's.
Yep.
Really?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I've been there twice with Bill
Where is
and,
It's an
and
Italian,
Carol.
Italian
Yeah.
restaurant.
Where is it, Bill?
Where is it?
In Burbank, I think it's on Magnolia in Burbank, and it's an Italian deli off to the one side, and then you have a restaurant called
Okay,
Pinocchio.
Yeah, I've been to the deli. Yeah, I've never been to
Okay.
the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, and when we lived in Burbank, it was really great, and we worked at the studio. It was really close.
Yeah,
But
isn't
when-
it just like a few blocks from the studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But we moved out here, and it was like there's no good deli, so we were having parties and stuff. And Carol and I would drive all the way to Burbank to get these big platters of food and take back. And it's got all this what you call Pinocchio motif and that sort of thing. But also on one wall, it's all full of things of airplanes because Lockheed was so big in Burbank, so they have this whole thing of all these ancient wood plaques showing the Fokker F-10 or the Lockheed whatever. And over the years, I think some of them have disappeared. I think people take them or they fall down or something. But it's a great spot. And even better these days, they've added a gelato bar. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen so much lasagna in such a big pan in my life.
Oh yeah.
You can't find delis where you try to find a deli here in North Carolina. They don't even know what the word is.
No.
Well, we've always had Cantors. I mean, that's one of the best.
Yeah, no, this is not of the Cantor's ilk, the deli. It's an Italian deli. So you
Oh
don't
yeah,
have
no, yeah.
you don't have the giant sandwiches, but as Carolyn said, you want the lasagna? Do you want the half ton or the quarter ton slice? I mean, but yeah, it's great. And like I said, again 6 years. Wow, where did it go? Appreciate folks that join it. And like I said, rather than just have all this stuff sitting here in the house, it's nice to be able to share it with folks. So for Don, he had to leave, but he's been here to Pinocchio's with us. It almost sounds like it's an initiation of some kind.
Well,
But,
at first I thought you said Finocchio's, and I'm thinking of the drag bar in San Francisco. I'm like, there was one in Burbank, and why are you taking your friends to Finocchio?
No, Pinocchio.
Yeah, I get it now.
Well, again, we'll have to meet someday, Randy. I keep saying, well, you come up to the police academy, we'll go or something.
Yeah, or
So-
just meet somewhere. Yeah, wherever.
It would be nice if a lot of people from this group could meet up. I know
Oh, yeah.
everybody is so far away, but
There must
I
be a
don't
few
know,
people
again.
in LA.
Carolyn's in Denver. We've met up with her twice, out
Yeah.
here. Wayne, we met years ago at a World's Fair event, and that was great fun. A guy had the one of the original horns from the escorters and trying to get that back to life. And I don't think it had made a noise in 30 years. And it first came back, whoa, okay, increase the voltage. And you're playing with something that you don't want to burn out and destroy. But all of a sudden, da 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 da, take Greyhound and leave the driving to us. The horn came out. We were all ecstatic. Remember that? So
I used that take Greyhound, leave the driving to us. Somebody was posting on Facebook about this miserable experience they had on some airline. I mean, it was just like, it was one of those things like, and it wasn't Delta, that's who I work for. It might have even been a foreign carrier, but it was like something the airline had no control over. Big first world problem, just going on and on. My thing was I put, next time take Greyhound and leave the driving to us. Everybody said, what does that mean? I had no idea what I was talking about.
If you go to Brethel.com, you can find the video of the resurrected escorter horn.
Wayne's got some great stuff on his site. Matter of fact, just maybe type it in the chat for people easier to grab it. But he's got some great old stuff on it. what's scary, you know, I joked at the beginning about working with all you old people. What's really scary is now working with new officers that weren't born when I started. You know, so you'd say, like, I've been doing it for 34 years. The guy goes, "Oh, I'm 27." You know, the very first time I ever felt old in my life was we were working in Switzerland, and we had just, and this again dates it. I had invented an email system to send messages back from our foreign offices back to Burbank before anybody had email. So we were doing the thing, and I would type a message in, and you know, they would read it back to me over the phone. Okay, it came out a little garbled. Let me change this. And you got tired of, after a while, typing the quick brown fox jumps, you know, whatever. So I started putting things in. The swallow flies at noon. The Pope has sung, and they would read that back. And we put in some other totally obscure thing. And I said to my friend, the guy that was working for me, I said, "Boy, you know, these messages are so weird that sooner or later we're going to get a visit from the man from Uncle." And he says, "Oh, what does your uncle do?"
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I said, "No, the man from Uncle." He goes, "What?" I said, "Napoleon Solo." He goes, "I have no idea what you're talking about." He hadn't even been born when the show was on. If it wasn't for Switzerland and the strict laws, I probably would have killed the son of a bitch. But I mean, he had no idea what I was talking about. That's the
Well,
first
you know,
time
but it's
I felt old.
people now will post things, you know, on Facebook or wherever about, you know, some of these, you know, new stars or, you know, musicians, and it's like somebody got kicked off a plane the other day. I'm like, who's that?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they put, well, that's so and so's hairdresser. I'm like, well, who's so and so?
Yeah,
Why
I'm
would I
the
even know who
same.
their hairdresser is? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Ever
once,
watch those morning talk shows?
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah,
The View, they always have people on. I
yeah.
have no idea who they are because I'm
yeah,
so old.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I have
Say,
no
Joey.
idea.
yeah, I used to, you know, when they used to put magazines on the airplanes, you know, not just the in-flight magazine, but, you know, People and all those. For a long time, I knew who the people were, but then it was like, who are these people? It's like they have that who wore it best,
oh yeah.
and it would have like, you know, whatever, Jane Fonda. Okay, I know who she is. Then I didn't know who the other 10 were. It's like, you know, what they
Uh,
beat these people up.
we see in the news all the time. But another time I felt old, I went into a museum, and I had designed stuff for the Navy, and I went into a museum, and there were kids playing on one of the consoles from one of the submarines, pushing all the buttons. And when I did it, it was so secret I couldn't even tell my parents what I did for a living. And now this kid's pushing the button in the museum, and somebody said, you know, you looked at it like I was dumbfounded. I go, I died. And I realized every single submarine I had helped built has been recycled for scrap already. And it's like, oh God, you know.
Well, that's like me when I started flying. There are very few of those planes still flying. The 707, the 720, the 727, 737 is still flying, but in
747.
yeah,
Great
it's yeah.
photos.
I mean, we didn't fly that when I started, but yeah, I think the last of the commercially flown 747s are going shortly.
Yeah,
Lufthansa still flies the Dash 800.
right.
They were one of the few that bought it.
Yeah, no,
So you would like, I'll try to remember to see, get a link or whatever, but on Facebook every once in a while, in the Reels thing, it'll pop up different police departments. Like, when did you start? And, you know, they'll say like, you know, whatever, 2008. Well, whenever somebody before 2000 starts, they follow it up with like the Keystone Cops or,
Oh.
you know, some old motorcycle officer with a, you know, like a football helmet on. It's cute.
Yeah, take care, Michelle. And again, hope to see you, meet up at one of these events. She goes to all sorts of Disney events, and sooner or later, the paths have got to cross for one of these.
You should come to Retro Magic and do a panel.
Yeah, well, the people invite me, I'm there.
I would imagine maybe they will.
What is Retro Magic?
It's an event that's usually in Florida. It's one of the fan clubs, and they put on what used to be Destination D, because Bill did one. That's when I started following him on the World's Fairs. And they used to have panels about more in-depth subjects, but now D23 doesn't do that anymore. Everything's an expo. So the fan club's sort of taken over that, WDWNT and Retro Magic and all those folks. So they started doing more and more of these events. And
Yeah, I think
this year it's in California. I mean, sorry, next year it's in California. So hopefully they'll get a lot of Imagineers to come out and talk about what they worked on, you know, in depth. That's what people want to know.
Yeah, Brock just did one this past year for them down in Florida. So yeah, I mean, so far, you know, the schedule, what they have is like, okay, but again, they flesh it out as it goes further on. And I haven't been to one of the shows, but I hear that they're really well done.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to go to that Retro Magic, but I went to Destination D instead, and I made the wrong choice. It was a mini expo. It wasn't in depth anything, so it was a little disappointing. But for people who like that, it was great. But I wanted to hear more experiences and stuff who, you know, people who worked on the subject. So I'm leaving now to go to the Bob Weiss lecture here in New
Oh,
Jersey,
yeah.
which shocks the hell out of me with his book with dream chasing, because I didn't think people come to New Jersey for that, or at least they do. It's in New York City. So I'll see what he talks about. I have absolutely no idea.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, it seems so. I mean, but, you know, like yesterday, Thursday, I was in the city doing the D23 theater tour. So I headed down to the Department of Records to see their World's Fair exhibit, which was a little teeny tiny alcove next to an elevator bank. So it wasn't all that fantastic, but when I get to it, I'll post it on the group. It was
Great.
more transportation options and some pictures and stuff like that. It wasn't all that impressive. But they said they had a whole bunch of stuff in the basement and they're going to have a much bigger World's Fair exhibit in June.
Oh, be nice.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are going to Lower Manhattan to the Department of Records building. So it's a beautiful building, but wow. But they said they had a whole bunch of stuff in the basement that they're going to dust off and bring out to exhibit. What they have, I have no idea, but that's what the security guard told me. I was like, can I go to the basement? And they were like, yeah, no. I thought it was worth a shot.
Yeah, they have a lot of stuff down there, Michelle. They have the Museum of the City of New York too. They have geological stuff that they dug out from 100 years of building Manhattan that they never show the public. So that's really fascinating.
Yeah, I
What
have
kind of
no
stuff
idea
would
where
they
they're
dig
going to
out?
have this exhibit, but they said they're going to put it up on a separate floor. It's going to be a full room versus a little alcove next to the elevator bank. I mean, it's nice they had it, and it gave me an excuse to go down there. And afterwards, I just walked across the Brooklyn Bridge to have lunch in Brooklyn, but that was the extent. So,
Yeah,
Oh, you
Carol
got the
and I-
good
oh,
coal-fired
20 minutes.
pizzeria on the Brooklyn side.
I'm sorry?
You got that good coal-fired pizzeria on the Brooklyn side of the bridge.
No, I only had pizza in Jersey. I don't have pizza in New York. To me, it
Oh.
doesn't compare. I had Chinese food at the Time Out Market building in the new building in Brooklyn, which was absolutely
You,
gorgeous.
you in New Jersey now? You in
I'm
Jersey
always
now?
in New Jersey. My mother is from the Bronx, but my father and of course me is always in North Jersey.
I'm from South Jersey, exit 4.
Oh, that's a different country.
Carol and
Yeah,
I
I know.
walked across the Brooklyn Bridge twice now, I think it is. But one day we started in Central Park and finished up in Flatbush, and it was
Wow.
yeah, we did a heck of a hike. And when we were on the bridge, the clouds came up like behind Joey's picture. I mean, it was just incredible. And we got to our friend's house and knocked on his door just as the rain started. And it was a hell of a thing. But my great I think his 6th great grandfather's back is in the book, the Great Bridge, about how they had nobody killed until this one day when 2 people got killed, and one of them was my great grandfather. So
Oh, sorry.
yeah, weird to walk across the bridge and think, oh, and in the book it says he died instantly when he hit the ground, and my grandmother, who said she was a young kid, said no, he lasted about 2 days, moaning and screaming, at the whole time. So she gave us years ago, they replaced some of the cables on the Brooklyn Bridge. And remember, for folks in New York, Abraham and Strauss department
Sure.
stores, they
Oh,
sold
yeah.
sections of the Brooklyn Bridge cable, which I have up in a dresser drawer. And my grandmother made a big thing about giving it to us and telling us about the family link to. So oh yeah, thank you, Grandma. Bam, splat. But we'll be back in New York in September, so we'll try to meet up with you again, Joey, for another.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, yeah. We'll go to the diner or something.
And Michelle, try to go over and see Joey and his band of merry people around the Unisphere.
Oh, that
I will
that would
actually
be
be in Queens at the Jim Henson Creature Tour.
Where's that, Michelle?
A couple blocks away from the Museum of Moving Image, Jim Henson
Oh.
has, and his family has a creature shop in Queens.
Yeah.
So they're giving
Mm.
tours. So myself and a whole bunch of Disney/World's Fair fans are decided to go that day to do the creature tour. So
That's nice.
or the creature shop tour or whatever they
Yeah.
call it, from the Jim Henson building. So I don't know what the plans are, but our tour begins at 11:40 and it's 2 hours long. So
Okay, well, we'll be in the park until it usually ends about 4. So if you want to drop by, yeah, we'd love to have you.
yeah, I'll bring it up to them. It's 7 of us. So
Sure.
it's
Look
quite
at
a
Joey.
contingent.
Joey be the guy with the shovel.
Yeah, yeah.
In a
I
wagon.
tried that. I tried that until they told me it's against the law to dig in the park. So
You have to wear a vest and carry a clipboard. You can do anything.
Well, I'm hoping they fixed a lot of the stuff on the ground. A lot of those tiles were cemented over, and I was kind of hoping they were trying to save it to redo it. But the last
they're
time
all
I was
gone.
there, they were like paving over all those beautiful tiles.
They're all gone. In fact,
Oh.
Gloria Nash, who I don't know if you know, she's one of the ladies that tried to save them, and she'll be with us that day. So we'll take a walk over there and see. But I think they're all gone now. They've all been cemented over.
Where are those tiles? By Fountain of the Planets?
No,
it's the
they're over by the
They're outside like the subway when you
yeah,
go down, you walk down a bit.
Passerelle. Yeah, they're by the
Yeah.
Passerelle.
Oh.
And we took some really good photos of them right before they decided to cement them over, and some of them they actually ripped out. So
I mean, I knew it was getting bad, so I just
Yeah.
assumed maybe they were just trying to save them, to redo them, to put them
Yeah.
back, but I guess not.
And we'll also be taking a walk over to the column of Jerash because that's getting worse and worse. There's almost no column left. It's really just like a nub,
Really?
So
It lasted thousands of years. But it was
yeah,
thousands of years
it
before it got to New York.
lasted 20 centuries only to be taken out by
Thanks,
some
all.
vandals.
New
Yeah,
York.
bring it to New York, and that's the end of it.
Joey, when you're there, make sure you go by the New York State Pavilion, because I understand the scaffolding will only be up another 6 years. Catch it while you can.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping we can get some people like Mitch and Stephanie to come by, and they or Jim Brown. I don't think Jim Brown's here. I think he must have left.
He left.
But they know so much about what's going on over there by the pavilion. So we let them lead that group,
Great.
So
Well, I'm going to run now. I'm going to take Carol out to lunch and then enjoy it before whatever rain we may get, and we'll see what we have for next week. And thanks all for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. See you
All right,
next
take
week.
care, everybody.
Bye-bye.